We don't need health care. We don't need welfare. We can put that back into this train I'm working on.
Everyone you've ever seen limping. Meth! Simone Biles! Meth!
Are you thinking about an orange kangaroo in Denmark?
It did occur to me how much I missed you when you were gone from the pod. We had great guests.
You hate talking to people.
I do.
There was a time and place where kids did not get killed in school. They actually did drugs and skipped class.
Well, we went to the grocery store. We purchased the whipped cream.
Which
and
flavor?
Doesn't matter. And they'll be like, wow. But it only lasts for like 10 minutes max.
See, I haven't done it since high school. I don't remember. I can't remember that.
Why don't we do it now?
I know Trixie has some whipped cream in the fridge.
Any girl over 35 has to have some whipped cream in the fridge.
I don't think she's a size 35, mama.
That's true.
I was like trying to prepare to like sit in her chair today and I didn't know how it would be. It's a very roomy. It's a little stretched out. And
Yeah, a lot of springs are kind of coming through.
Yeah.
She loves that,
broken, worn in
texture.
Yeah.
I think it would be funny if like when she comes back, I have installed a very like intricate electrocution.
Like a small shock that you could maybe like gaslight her into thinking she's just making up.
Yeah, I'd be like, what's wrong with you? You're so jittery today. Is everything fine? Did you have a lot of iced coffee? Should we call the doctor? And then it just like builds up to the most like,
I don't think she needs another excuse to call the doctor.
I love like the ASMR like gynecologist visit.
what?
The ASMR community gets so specific.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, but the thing is I was doing this video with an ASMR artist, and we were reviewing if it was good ASMR, and the gynecology exam was pretty thorough and actually incredibly relaxing.
Are they whispering or?
Yeah, they're like, everything seems to be in order down here.
It's like, there are some polyps. We've located a cyst, but it's okay. We went and removed it, and there's going to be no extra charge on that.
I trimmed down the hair, and I pinned it off to the side.
I hope a landing strip is okay, because it seems like that's the fashion nowadays.
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, I would love a gyno visit, but it's like HIPAA violation. She's like, I really shouldn't say this.
But Julia Roberts just came in, and her body is so fat. Yes. The fattest. And I loved her in Notting Hill, but I can't watch that movie anymore.
I can't look her in the eyes.
I know. I can't believe that Richard Gere didn't make a comment about it on Pretty Woman. Because when he went down on her, he should have said, oh my God, you're so fat. Yeah. Were you at the lunch table when one of the queens was talking about how she did a private lap dance for Rihanna naked?
On that, it was on part of my tour then. Who was it? Oh my God.
She was telling campfire tales.
Oh, it was once Kim and I got back from filming, we thought of her as like this like hilarious, normal, storied person. And then once we found out that, all these things are like
suspicious. It's so casual too. It's like, did I ever tell you about the time I shot JFK? It's like, what are you talking about? Nobody said anything, probably because we're so tired, but we're like,
is this really happening?
Is she really saying this right now?
Oh my God.
And literally, the most wild, unbelievable things. And I appreciate the commitment to that delusion.
I definitely caught up with her though.
I was at a function in Milwaukee last week visiting my family, and I was sitting there with my friend, and my friend and I were sitting this close, like having an intimate conversation, the type of conversation that maybe you wouldn't interrupt.
Well, you can read the room.
This woman was, as far as reading the room, she was sounding out the letters, still trying to put it together. It's Wisconsin, right? So the accent, she goes, hey, can I ask y'all a question? And I was like, sure. And she was like, do y'all have a cigarette? And I was like, no. And then she was like, I'm not even supposed to be smoking. My stepdaughter, she doesn't smoke either. And she's not gay, but I asked her if maybe she was a little gay. At first I said, do you have a boyfriend? She said no. Then I said, do you have a girlfriend? And she said no, but she was a little weird about it. So now lately we've been having cigarettes together while we're on FaceTime. She goes to the University of Madison. I was like,
do you need something from me?
I felt like she ripped off my clothes and forced herself on me. And then later on the same night, I was with my friend, and this guy at the bar taps me, and we turn, and he goes, I was this close to fighting the Germans in the war. And I was like, what are you people drinking? What is this?
Is everyone okay?
Is everyone okay? And also, I'm looking at him. I know he's like, it's got to be about 80. And I'm doing the math in my head. You fought the Germans in the... I don't think you did.
Hey, I don't believe you.
May I ask you something?
Yeah.
How are we about to trauma dump in during meet and greets?
We'll do a role play. You're me. and I'm a fan.
I had stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, but you put on a wig and I feel great.
You know, that kind of thing. Or like, I was like,
Yeah.
hey, so my whole family was murdered, but while the police were conducting the investigation, they let us watch at the, you know, and so like, it's always something like I had the most debilitating tragedy. And
we are the like,
we were the very thin thread, like connecting you to
and
this
mind you,
earthly
we are
plane.
hanging on by a said thread.
Girl, who are you telling?
I'm your reason for living, yet I want to die.
But also the first thing,
Yeah.
there's no hi hello.
No.
It's I had cancer. Did you notice that every f***ing person in the world is vaping right now? Have you? For me, smoking and vaping are two very different activities. They're not even related.
Well, one is smoke and one is vapor.
Any more? Let's take a break.
I started vaping because I was on the Madonna tour and all the dancers were vaping. I was just like, let me get some of your watermelon flavored air. And then I was like, oh, I am addicted to nicotine. And I am quitting. That's why I'm on the zero nicotine vape.
Yeah. I would imagine you could trick yourself quite easily.
There's no buzz.
Is there really a buzz with the nicotine?
I remember one time hitting a nicotine vape and I was like, I am high. I was like, day one.
Reset.
Literally, I was like, I am in a
silver chip.
This begins my relapse. This is I need a 24-hour chip. I remember I was driving from the gym and I was like, oh, a vape, and I hit it and I was already winded and I was like, I had to pull the car over.
Jesus,
because I was like, I was like, I am high off my gourd right now.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious. I would not. I was like,
that is so.
I was so lightheaded. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't think straight. I had to pull over and I was like, I gotta quit the nicotine.
I was about to tell you my worst poop story of my life. Okay, so I was in this studio, like a real studio, not like this. It gets pretty graphic.
Okay, put your lunch down.
So I had to take a poop while I was in this studio, and it was a public, bathroom, and I went into one of the stalls, and you know how, when you take a poop, you're going to wipe and you're going to check it to see if you need to wipe again. This is basic stuff that nobody's verbalizing.
For good reason.
But I need to for this part. Then for some reason, the lock or whatever, there was a few stalls. I don't know why she picked this one. A woman opened the stall door while I was looking. And the worst part is I definitely needed to wipe again.
That is the most vulnerable.
Yes.
The most vulnerable. There's nothing.
I could be pooping, but it'd still be kind of my thing. I could be like resting between whatever. But this was like, here's my poop and I need to do more. So you should probably close the door and pick a different stall. Sorry. Proof is right here.
Oh my God.
Proof for the both of us.
I also like Flash Gordon. Not the boar worms. Not the boar worms.
What are the boar worms?
The boar worms are the worms and stuff. Not the boar worms. It's a cult classic, you know.
I gotta watch it.
Not the boar worms. Not the boar worms. Not the boar worms. Not the boar worms. No, not the boar worms. I do it on with Rue. Me and Rue fall out.
Not the boar worms.
Like before the girls come in, I said, Rue, you know what's on my spirit? And she said, what? Not the boar worms. And we just start falling out laughing. Oh, not the boar worms. Oh. You've never had acrylic nails?
No. There's I have a whole bunch of latent repressed, or is it latent homophobia? Is that what it is? I just think
repressed as well.
Yeah. I just could never do that because I want to go under the radar out of drag.
Same.
You know what I mean?
Same.
Yeah, I would feel so.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. I mean, I totally. I agree. Also, I know this about you. You don't even like boys to have their nails painted. Right? Is that what you said?
I don't. But no. I mean, I wouldn't.
Or it's a turn off, right? It's a turn off.
It's not
okay. You don't have to be turned on by. You can be totally turned off by. That's fine. If you're watching, if you're listening,
she hates.
No,
I don't hate.
Well, that makes one of us.
We were talking about real dolls, and then someone said, like, oh, how do you dispose of one of those? And I'm like, you stick it down the garbage chute.
Yeah.
And they were like, what? I'm like, well, that's what Katya did at my place with her real doll.
I mean, she was just a torso, though.
Oh, okay.
I would have felt different. It would have been a different experience.
If it had arms and legs.
And a head. She was Jennifer because I gave her that name.
The person finding Jennifer's torso, if indeed it made it down to the dumpster, or if it got lodged halfway and the building manager had to come and
I heard the thud.
Poke it with a broom.
I heard the thud, Mary.
And then they're like taking out the dumpster and there's just like...
But not that, because there's no
put a little
head.
ketchup on the...
Well, how do you think my mother felt when she had to coordinate moving from one place to another and it was boxed in a box that said mega slut, 40 pounds of flesh? I mean, I loved it.
Oh, was this a cardboard box that you'd written on with a Sharpie, or that was the box she came in?
This was the box that was not discreet whatsoever. I mean, it was like...
It wasn't the plain brown packaging.
No. It was like those doorbuster sales, like giant, huge, bright letters. It was just very humiliating.
Are you gonna like ask me questions?
Yes, we're gonna talk about your incredible achievements. If you could become fluent overnight in a foreign language, but you had to chop off a finger, would you do it?
Maybe.
And which language would you learn?
Japanese.
Really?
Maybe I'd give up another one for ASL.
But you can't.
Oh my God. Shut up. There's gotta be a way to still do that.
That is so funny. That is the funniest thing.
Stop it. There is a deaf person missing fingers.
Of course
Like, why is Katya laughing?
Yeah. Bathhouses. So fun.
Bathhouses.
Early 2000s was my bathhouse era as I first moved to LA.
Yeah, my first one I went to was in Brazil.
Like, how old were you?
I must have been like in my 30s. Because it was like traveling for Drag Race.
Did you get railed? And then what happened? Hurry up.
No, I mean,
oh my God, that's like, that's in my porn search bar, Brazilian first, and then whatever, prolapse, poop, brutal
poop slaying by Brazilian, but no. We could get a nice lunch.
We can get a lunch.
Bitch.
I'll take you to lunch. Sure. You want to go to Ruth Chris?
Ruth Chris Steakhouse. Wait a minute. Ruth's Chris. What the is that?
I don't know. What is a Chris?
Why is
Chris
Ruth have a
belong to
Chris? And what's up with Ruth's Chris? How's that better than any other normal Chris?
If you're owned by someone named Ruth.
It's like, is that Chris? Is that that's
Ruth's
Chris.
Chris.
That's Ruth's Chris. He's got the steakhouse.
He's got the steakhouse. I still get laid just as much as I did, if not more.
I was going to say probably more, especially with Ruth's Chris hanging around.
Baby, Ruth's Chris is always hanging up on this hanger steak.
Shout out to Ruth's Chris. They're probably the best Chris in the game.
The difference between New York and Philadelphia is that in New York, they'll talk
Okay.
In Philly, they'll punch you in the face.
Fierce.
Like, they don't have time for the talking part.
Yeah, they got to get to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. I remember from season 7, what I thought was going to happen did not happen.
Mm-hmm.
It was received so differently than a lot of us had anticipated, and that was really interesting, but I kind of lucked out. But it's like...
I don't think you lucked out. The thing is, I knew from the day that I met you that once you got on that show, you would be who you are. You'd be the superstar that you are. Everyone doesn't have that thing.
The thing about it, people don't realize is that I have a 2-inch penis, and that is my calling card.
Well...
And it's 2 inches hard, okay? And people can't come for that. You know?
Or on it.
I have a gift for you.
You do?
Yeah. I wanted
to
present you with a matching tracksuit from you.
Hell yes!
And I also brought you this. This is something so special to me. It's a vintage smile. And I know that you love body parts and things, but this is one of my most precious things. So I'm giving it to you for the... It's perfect. And it's real. So that's passed from someone's ancestor. And I'm sure it's from maybe 1940s, 50s. It's for the days you can't find a smile on your own.
It's so great.
gorgeous. I love her.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So
Thank
now
you
Trixie's not the only one with veneers.
Yes, perfect.
There's been 3 Terrifier movies.
And this is The Clown.
The Clown. This is
Yeah,
The Clown. The first one is very bad. The second one is even worse. And the third was fantastic. It's a sadistic clown who...
It's torture porn, is what you're selling.
For some reason, I don't group this film in...
Because there's a plot, or why?
There's definitely a plot. Well, I'm going to... Oh, God, this is a spoiler, I suppose, but...
Babe, no one's seeing these movies. No one is seeing these movies. You've been selling these movies for truly literal years on this very podcast. I'm a listener. I'm a fan. I have never once heard you talk about this movie and said, put it on the queue, babe.
If you had to kill an animal by strangling it, which animal would you do?
I was really thinking about it.
Mine would be Moo Dang.
Moo Dang. That would be hard.
I know.
I think it would be awfully hard to get around there.
Did you have a favorite guest while I was gone?
Kristen Schaal.
What a great episode.
That had me in stitches from start to finish. The moment she entered the facility, I was on the floor laughing.
She's so
until
funny.
the very end. And then T.S. Madison, of course. It did occur to me that sometimes maybe you should prepare. You can't walk into an interview and expect the same kind of natural back and forth banter that you've developed with a person very closely over like 7 years.
I think we should keep doing this.
I think we should. Well, we will. I have to. I'm in so much debt.
Goodbye. Do like a soft and tender goodbye. Like you want to see the person again in 10 minutes.
Goodbye.